Welcome back to the deep dive. It's something we see all the time. Some companies, some leaders, they just inspire incredible loyalty. Like think Apple back in the day. People weren't just buying computers, they were joining a movement.
Absolutely. And then you have others, right? Maybe they've got similar resources, maybe even better products on paper, but they just struggle. They can't seem to capture that same kind of passionate following.
Exactly. And that's the core question we're digging into today. Why? What's the difference?
Well, we've been looking into Simon Sinek's work, specifically start with why. He identified this pattern, this framework he calls the golden circle, by looking at those truly inspirational examples.
Right, the golden circle.
Yeah.
Our mission for you listening in is to really unpack that. We want to give you a clear, structured handle on why understanding your purpose, your WHY, isn't just some fuzzy motivational concept. It's fundamental.
It's really about the engine of long-term success.
Yeah.
And Sinek's big discovery, the thing that kind of flips the script, is that it's not about what you do, or even how you do it, initially anyway.
It's the why.
It's the why. It's the order you communicate things. Think about Steve Jobs. Apple didn't just sell tech. They sold a belief, a way of seeing the world. They always started with why they were doing it.
Okay, so let's start where most organizations do, which is not with the WHY. They start with the what, right?
Yeah.
The products, the services.
Exactly. And Sinek points out this trap we fall into. We make decisions based on assumptions, often because we only have part of the picture.
Like that story he tells, it's quite unsettling, actually.
Yeah, the one about the inauguration. He described this leader's rise, humble beginnings, huge public support, massive inauguration ceremony.
And people listening assume, maybe JFK or someone inspiring like that.
Right. But the description, it was actually Adolf Hitler's inauguration. Without the context, the why, people filled in the blanks with their own positive assumptions based on just the spectacle, the apparent success.
That really highlights the danger of incomplete information and how easily we can be swayed if the core belief isn't clear.
Precisely. And when organizations only talk about here's our product, here are its features, they leave this vacuum. And that vacuum, it gets filled by manipulation.
The carrots and sticks.
Yep, that's the default mode for so many. And pricing games race to the bottom. Promotions, cashback, limited time offers. Fear tactics you see in politics, public health warnings.
Even aspirational marketing, making you feel like you're missing out if you don't buy this thing. Or peer pressure. Everyone else has one.
And look, these tactics do work, sort of. They can drive a sale.
Right now, but it's short term. Transactional.
Completely. Sinek uses the Motorola RAZR example. Huge hit, right? Super innovative looking, very novel for its time.
Oh yeah, everyone wanted one. It was the phone.
For a while. But was there a deep belief behind the RAZR, a core purpose people connected with? Not really. So when the next cool phone came along, loyalty gone. Novelty isn't the same as true purpose-driven innovation.
And relying on those manipulations, those carrots and sticks, it's exhausting. It creates stress for everyone, buyer and seller, and it just doesn't build anything lasting. You might get repeat business, someone buying again, because maybe the price is right this time.
But that's not loyalty. Loyalty is when your customer chooses you, even if a competitor has a slightly better deal or a newer feature, because they believe in what you stand for.
Okay. But we should probably acknowledge, the real world sometimes bites. Some of the critical discussion around Sinek does point out that, sometimes a company is just trying to survive, right?
That's a fair point. There's an argument, sometimes seen in places like HBR discussions, that for businesses under intense pressure, maybe in really commoditized markets, some of those short-term tactics, those manipulations, they might feel like a necessary evil just to keep the doors open.
So it's not always black and white, inspiration versus manipulation.
Ideally, inspiration is the goal, the sustainable path. But the critique suggests sometimes you might need a short-term fix. Sinek's framework, though, is really designed to help you build something where you don't need those fixes long-term because your WHY creates a different kind of value.
Which brings us neatly back to the golden circle. Let's map it out.
Okay, picture 3 concentric circles. The outermost circle, the biggest one, is the what.
Simple enough. What does the organization actually do? The products it sells, the services it offers.
Exactly. Now, move one layer in, that's the HOW. This is how you do what you do. Your processes, your unique selling propositions, your values. The things you often say make you different or better.
Like we use proprietary technology or we have excellent customer service, that kind of thing.
Precisely. But the core, the smallest circle, right in the middle, that's the WHY.
And this is the tricky one.
This is the hardest one. It's not about profit that's a result. The WHY is the purpose, the cause, the fundamental belief that drives the organization. Why does it even exist?
And the key, according to Sinek, is the direction you communicate in. Most go outside in.
Right. Here's what we make. Here's how it's better. Want to buy one. Very rational, future-focused.
But the inspirational ones, they flip it inside out.
They start with WHY, Apple again. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. That's the WHY.
Then the how W. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly.
And finally, the what. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one. See the difference? It connects on a belief level first.
And this isn't just clever marketing talk, is it? Sinek links this directly to how our brains are structured.
Exactly. This is the really cool part. The golden circle maps almost perfectly onto the major sections of the human brain.
Okay, break that down. The what.
The what corresponds to the neocortex. That's the newest part of our brain, evolutionarily speaking. It handles rational thought, analysis, language, facts, and figures.
So when companies bombard us with specs and data, they're talking to our neocortex.
Right, which can process it, but it doesn't drive behavior on its own. The inner two circles, though the HOW, and crucially the WHY, they correspond to the limbic brain.
The older part, the emotional center.
Yes. The limbic brain is responsible for all our feelings. Trust, loyalty, love, anger. And importantly, it's responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making. But it has no capacity for language.
Ah, so that's the gut feeling.
That's the gut feeling. When a company communicates WHY first, they're talking directly to the part of your brain that makes decisions. You feel trust, you feel alignment, before you even start rationalizing the features with your neocortex. The feeling comes first, the justification later.
Which explains why true loyalty feels emotional, not just logical. You're building a connection, a tribe.
Exactly. It's about cultivating trust. And trust isn't built from a spec sheet, it's a feeling. It comes from shared values, shared beliefs. Look at Continental Airlines back in the 90s.
Yeah, they're in rough shape, weren't they?
Terrible shape. Toxic culture, losing money, hand over fist. Gordon Bethune comes in as CEO. What's his first move? Not some big ad campaign targeting customers.
He focused internally.
He focused on the employees.
Yeah.
His core belief, his WHY, was essentially, take care of your people, they'll take care of the customers, and the shareholders will benefit. He rebuilt trust inside the company first.
And it worked. Service improved, profits returned.
Because trust led to commitment, people believed in the direction again. And that flows directly into who you bring onto the team. You have to hire people who share that belief.
Like the Ernest Shackleton example, that famous ad for the Antarctic expedition.
Incredible, isn't it? It didn't say, seeking experienced navigators, good pay. It said, men wanted for hazardous journey. Small wages, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness.
Constant danger, safe return doubtful, honor and recognition in case of success.
Right. He wasn't just filtering for skills. He was filtering for attitude, for people who believed in the mission, who were drawn to the sheer challenge of it. It underlines that quote. You don't hire for skills, you hire for attitude. You can always teach skills.
But you need both, right? The visionary and the person who actually makes it happen.
Oh, absolutely. The WHY needs the HW. Sinek talks about WHY types and LW types.
The WHY types are the visionaries. The dreamers.
Yeah, the charismatic leaders, the ones with the big, often abstract vision. Think Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Walt Disney, maybe Bill Gates in the early days. They articulate the why.
But they need the HOW types.
The pragmatists, the builders, the ones who figure out how to make the dream a reality, create the systems, manage the operations. Ralph Abernathy alongside Dr. King, Roy Disney managing the finances for Walt, Paul Allen building the tech with Gates. You need that partnership.
Okay, so you found your WHY, you've hired believers, you got the HOW people building things. How do you keep it all aligned? How do you make sure decisions don't dilute the purpose?
Sinek offers a great little tool for this, the celery test.
The celery test. Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's a simple metaphor. Let's say your organization's WHY is all about health and wellness. You go to a metaphorical supermarket representing opportunities or decisions. You're offered celery, maybe some carrots, but also a big slice of chocolate cake and M&Ms, maybe donuts.
Okay.
If your WHY is truly health, which items do you buy?
Just the celery and carrots, I guess, even if the cake is on sale.
Exactly. The celery test means you filter decisions based on whether they align with your core WHY. Does this new product, this partnership, this marketing strategy, does it belong? Does it fit our purpose? You reject things that don't. even if they seem appealing on the surface.
Ah, like Volkswagen and the Phaeton.
Perfect example of failing the celery test. VW's WHY was rooted in being the people's car. Reliable, affordable engineering for everyone.
That was their identity.
Totally. But then they decided they wanted to compete in the high-end luxury market. They chased the what market share against Mercedes and BMW. So they built the Phaeton.
Technically brilliant car, apparently.
Superb engineering. But massively expensive and completely at odds with VW's core belief. It confused customers, diluted the brand. It was a costly failure because it didn't pass the celery test. It didn't align with their WHY.
Whereas companies like Disney, you could argue, generally pass the test. Their offerings feel consistent with their core purpose.
Right, that clarity and consistency over time are crucial. But here's the biggest danger zone Sinek identifies. It's not failure that usually kills the WHY.
It's success.
It's success.
Yeah.
When the what, the revenue, the growth, the market share becomes the primary focus, the WHY can get fuzzy. You get this split Sinek talks about.
A split.
Yeah, where the organization starts measuring itself solely by tangible achievements, the metrics. The original passion, the purpose starts to fade, especially as the company grows beyond the founders.
Which leads to that difference between achievement and success.
Exactly. Achievement is hitting the goal, the target. It's measurable. It's the what. Success. Success is the feeling, the fulfillment that comes from making progress towards your WHY.
And you can achieve a lot without feeling successful. Like that study Sinek mentions.
The gathering of titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, where something like 80% of these financially successful entrepreneurs admitted they didn't feel successful. They'd reached the summit, achieved the what, but lost the WHY along the way. The feeling wasn't there.
We saw that play out dramatically with Walmart, didn't we?
A classic case study. Sam Walton started with a real belief, a WHY centered on serving communities, valuing people, both customers and employees, over just profit.
Service was key for him.
Absolutely. But after he passed away, the focus shifted almost entirely to the what. Always low prices. That became the overriding driver.
And the culture changed. Stories about employee treatment, impact on local suppliers.
Right. The pursuit of the what, low cost above all else, started to undermine the original WHY. Trust eroded, loyalty suffered, scandals emerged. The WHY went fuzzy, and the company lost something vital.
You can contrast that with Costco, perhaps. They seem to maintain a focus on employee welfare as part of their model, and they continue to thrive.
It's a different approach, arguably closer to keeping the WHY clear, which underlines the importance of things like the school bus test.
Can the company survive? Can the WHY survive if the founder gets hit by a bus?
Basically, yes. Is the purpose embedded in the culture or just in one person? It highlights the need for succession planning that focuses on finding leaders who embody the founding WHY, not just ones who can manage the what. Southwest Airlines is often cited for doing this well over the years.
So, okay, for individuals listening, maybe founders or leaders, how do you actually find or rediscover your WHY if it's gone fuzzy or if you never articulated it? It's not on a spreadsheet.
No, and Sinek's insight here is pretty profound. He says the WHY doesn't come from looking forward from market research or strategic planning about the future.
It comes from looking back.
It comes from looking back. It's an act of discovery, not invention. You have to reflect on your past, your upbringing, the moments that truly moved you, the experiences that shaped your core beliefs. Your WHY has always been there. You just need to uncover it and give it language.
Like the Apple origin story again. It wasn't, let's build computers to make money.
Not at all. It grew out of the counterculture, the anti-establishment feeling of the Vietnam era. Jobs and Wozniak, with things like the Blue Box initially. Their drive was about empowering the individual against the big impersonal systems.
Giving power to the people, challenging the status quo. That was the WHY.
That was the WHY. The computer is just the tool they eventually created to fulfill that purpose, to help the rebels and idealists make a dent in the universe.
And Sinek himself went through this, right? He talks about his own journey.
Yeah, he hit a point where his business was doing okay on paper, achieving things, but he felt completely unfulfilled, lost. It was only by digging back into his own past, rediscovering his fundamental drive, the desire to inspire people, that he found his WHY and changed everything.
So when you find that clarity, that personal or organizational WHY, it changes how you see everything, even competition.
Completely, because if you know why you're doing what you're doing, your focus shifts. You stop obsessing about beating the other guy.
What do you focus on instead?
You focus on beating yourself, on being better today than you were yesterday, on advancing your own cause, fulfilling your own purpose. Sinek tells the story of Ben Coman, a high school cross-country runner with cerebral palsy.
Right, he always finished last, but the crowd stayed to cheer him on.
Exactly. Because his race wasn't against the other runners. His race was against his own challenges, his own limits. He was competing against himself, trying to finish, trying to improve his best. That kind of focus on your own WHY, your own race, that's what truly inspires others and builds connection. You're not trying to tear anyone else down. You're just trying to build your own vision.
Okay, so wrapping this up, the core message is incredibly powerful. Start with the WHY. It's how you connect with the decision-making part of the brain, the limbic brain, to build genuine trust.
Trust that goes beyond just the transaction. We saw it with Continental, getting the internal WHY right first. We saw it with Shackleton, hiring for belief.
And you've got to maintain that clarity. Use the celery test. Avoid the trap Volkswagen fell into with the Phaeton, where chasing the what diluted the WHY.
And remember, the biggest challenge isn't failure. It's often success. Don't let the metrics, the achievements, make your founding purpose go fuzzy, like the cautionary tale of Walmart post Sam Walton. Keep that WHY alive.
So the final thought for you, the listener, to take away from this deep dive, think about your own work, your own life. What are you measuring right now?
Are you focused on the temporary what of achievement, the sales target, the promotion, the finished project? Or are you consciously connecting with the enduring WHY, the core purpose, the belief that fuels you?
And what might change? What one decision could you make differently, maybe even today, if you deliberately aligned it with that deeper WHY?
Imagine if every organization, every leader really did start with WHY. Decisions might become simpler, certainly more consistent. Loyalty, engagement, could likely be much, much greater. Something to think about.
Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Pass on the inspiration. We'll see you next time.